Labor units for Romex installation can vary based on several factors. These include the project size, wiring complexity, and the accessibility of the work area. Typical estimated labor units for Romex installation in residential work are as follows. For 12-2 wire, with a unit quantity of 11,000 feet, expect 25 to 30 labor units per 1,000 feet. For 12-3 wire, with a unit quantity of 12,000 feet, anticipate 28 to 32 labor units per 1,000 feet. For 40-2 wire, with a unit quantity of 11,000 feet, estimate 20 to 25 labor units per 1,000 feet. For 40-2 wire again, with a unit quantity of 12,000 feet, plan for 23 to 27 labor units per 1,000 feet. And lastly, for 10-2 wire, with a unit quantity of 13,000 feet, allocate 18 to 22 labor units per 1,000 feet. These units generally cover the labor involved in roughing wiring, pulling the wire, and terminating the wire at outlets, switches, and fixtures. Keep in mind that these estimates do not include labor for installing conduit boxes or other materials. Larger projects or more complex wiring scenarios may require a higher number of labor units. Always consult with experienced electricians or refer to specific labor unit manuals for more accurate estimates tailored to the specifics of the project. The NECA manual of labor units might provide higher labor unit estimates for Romex installation. This difference could be because the manual encompasses all labor aspects associated with the installation. This includes procuring materials, setting up the work area, cleaning up, and other overhead costs. The labor units presented earlier are often more representative of the actual labor involved in residential Romex installation. However, it remains important to consider the specific project requirements and adjust the units accordingly to ensure accurate and realistic estimates. When estimating labor for electrical projects, consider firstly the scope of work. A detailed understanding of the project scope is crucial. This includes the amount of wiring needed, the number of devices to be installed, and any specific requirements outlined in the project specifications. Secondly, review the drawings and specifications. Thoroughly examine the project drawings and specifications. This will help identify potential challenges, such as difficult access or complex wiring configurations, which could affect labor time. Thirdly, break down the work into tasks. Divide the project into smaller, more manageable tasks. This allows for more accurate estimation of the time required for each task. For example, separate tasks might include running cable, installing boxes, and terminating devices. Fourthly, consider the wire type and size. The type and size of wire being installed can influence labor time. Larger gauge wires may be more difficult to pull and terminate, increasing the labor required. Fifthly, account for the mounting height and accessibility. Labor time can be affected by the height at which the work is performed and the accessibility of the work area. Working at heights requires additional safety precautions and can slow down progress. Limited access can also make it more difficult to perform tasks efficiently. Sixthly, factor in the complexity of the wiring. Complex wiring configurations or intricate control systems may require more labor time than simple wiring runs. Consider the number of circuits, the presence of control wiring, and any special requirements for the wiring system. Seventhly, calculate for the type of structure. The type of building or structure can impact labor time. For example, wiring in existing buildings may be more time-consuming due to obstacles and limited access compared to new construction. Eighthly, consider the local codes and regulations. Compliance with local electrical codes and regulations is essential. Ensure that all work meets the required standards, which may involve additional time for inspections and modifications. Ninthly, evaluate the experience level of the crew. The experience level of the electrical crew can significantly affect labor time. More experienced electricians are typically more efficient and can complete tasks in less time than less experienced workers. 10thly, review historical data. Reviewing historical data from similar projects can provide valuable insights into labor requirements. Analyze past projects to identify trends and refine estimating accuracy. 11th, use industry standards. Utilize industry standard labor estimating guides and software. These resources provide benchmarks and data to help create accurate labor estimates. 12th, add contingency. Include a contingency factor to account for unforeseen issues or changes. This provides a buffer in case unexpected problems arise during the project. 13th, consider material handling. Account for the time required for material handling, including receiving, storing, and transporting materials to the work area. Efficient material handling can help minimize delays and improve overall productivity. 14th, factor in travel time. For projects located a significant distance from the electrical contractor's base, factor in travel time to and from the job site. Travel time can add to the overall labor costs and should be included in the estimate. 15th, include site conditions. Consider the site conditions such as weather, temperature, and lighting. Adverse conditions can impact productivity and increase labor time. 16th, account for safety. Safety is paramount in electrical work. Include time for safety meetings, personal protective equipment, and adherence to safety protocols. 17th, consider permit and inspection requirements. Obtain necessary permits and schedule inspections in a timely manner. Delays in permitting or inspections can impact the project schedule and increase labor costs. 18th, factor in rework. Plan for potential rework or corrections. Even with careful planning, errors can occur, requiring time for corrections and adjustments. 19th, include project management and supervision. Allocate time for project management and supervision activities. Effective project management ensures that the project stays on schedule and within budget. 20th, consider union or non-union labor rates. Labor rates can vary depending on whether the project uses union or non-union labor. Ensure that the correct labor rates are used in the estimate. 21st, account for overtime or shift work. If the project requires overtime or shift work, factor in the additional labor costs associated with these arrangements. 22nd, consider the payment terms. The payment terms of the project can affect cash flow and potentially impact labor costs. Understand the payment schedule and plan accordingly. 23rd, factor in waste and spoilage. Account for potential waste or spoilage of materials during the project. Minimize waste to improve overall cost effectiveness. 24th, include the cost of tools and equipment. Include the cost of tools and equipment required for the project. This may include rental fees or depreciation of owned equipment. 25th, account for productivity factors. Consider productivity factors that can impact labor efficiency, such as worker fatigue or distractions. Minimize distractions and provide adequate breaks to maintain productivity. 26th, factor in learning curves. For new technologies or unfamiliar tasks, account for a learning curve that may initially slow down progress. Provide adequate training and support to workers to accelerate learning and improve efficiency. 27th, include documentation and record keeping. Allocate time for documentation and record keeping tasks such as tracking labor hours, materials used, and project progress. Accurate documentation is essential for project management and cost control. 28th, consider change orders. Changes to the project scope can impact labor requirements. Establish a clear process for handling change orders and adjust labor estimates accordingly. 29th, factor in communication and coordination. Effective communication and coordination among team members are essential for project success. Allocate time for meetings, phone calls, and other communication activities. 30th, include quality control measures. Implement quality control measures to ensure that the work meets the required standards and specifications. Quality control can help prevent rework and improve overall customer satisfaction. 31st, consider environmental factors. Environmental factors, such as extreme temperatures or humidity, can impact labor productivity and safety. Take appropriate precautions to mitigate these risks. Secondly, factor in security requirements. For projects in secure locations, consider the additional time and effort required for security checks and protocols. Thirdly, include demobilization costs. Include the costs associated with demobilizing the work site, such as removing equipment and materials, cleaning up, and restoring the area to its original condition. Fourthly, consider warranty requirements. Understand the warranty requirements for the project and factor in any additional labor costs associated with providing warranty service. Fifthly, account for inflation. For long-term projects, consider the potential impact of inflation on labor rates and material costs. Adjust estimates accordingly to account for inflation. By carefully considering these factors and using a systematic approach to estimating, electrical contractors can develop accurate and reliable labor estimates for their project. This helps ensure profitability, customer satisfaction, and overall project success. Remember to adjust the labor units based on the specific circumstances and requirements of each project. Regular review and refinement of estimating techniques are essential for maintaining accuracy and competitiveness in the electrical contracting industry. Also remember to compare your estimate to prevailing wage rates and to what the state/province/county/city estimates the job should take if the government is involved in funding, so that the final cost is one that is not rejected because it is too high or low.